and welcome to Built on Air, a podcast and video series about all things Airtable. I'm your host, Zoe Vanderplu, and I'd like to thank our sponsor, OpenSide. OpenSide's newest product, OntoAir Forms, is the Airtable Forms solution you've been looking for. Visit openside.com to see how their OntoAir products will take your Airtable workflow to the next level. For a limited time, get OntoAir Forms free when you purchase the OpenSide OntoAir Actions Zapier connector. A warm welcome to our guest this week, Will Christensen. Will lives in Athens, Georgia, and is the co-founder Innovation at DataAutomation, a systems integration company that helps businesses automate and become more efficient. DataAutomation services all kinds of clients, but their particular niche is in the close-knit community of e-commerce. Before rebuilding their clients' systems, Will and his team do an automation audit of a company's existing process and speak to as many employees as possible to learn on a micro level what is working and what isn't. Reception to new automated systems can require a huge culture shift in a company, and Will is conscious of how to facilitate that shift successfully. During his demo, Will shows us an awesome website he built called Seller Software, a handy-dandy software directory for Amazon sellers. It's an aggregation of several hundred hours of research and curation on almost every Amazon seller app that's available out there. The Airtable magic for Will's project happens behind the scenes, as he had built out an Airtable base with all of this app data in it that he wanted to use as a content management system for his website. Naturally, being a fan of DIY integrated solutions, Will built his own custom plugin to connect his base to the back end of his site. This allowed him to combine the flexibility and power of WordPress themes with the database capabilities and easy editing that Airtable provides. So as he continues to update the software directory in Airtable, changes are seamlessly pushed to the Seller Software website. Check out the show notes if you're interested in learning more about Will's WordPress and Airtable integration, and also visit BuiltOnAir.com to sign up for our mailing list, where you can get weekly updates on new Built on Air episodes and other fun Airtable things. So tell us a little bit about what you'll be demoing for us.
So we are constantly, so we're at a tech incubator. The tech incubator is called Groundsphere, and at the tech incubator, we're constantly looking at what does the world need that it doesn't already have, right? What SaaS product, what company could serve the world better than it already is? And one of the things that we feel like is lacking a little bit is a directory of every single piece of software that services the Amazon sellers, or the sellers, the e-commerce sellers, so that they can know which piece of software would be awesome. Mm-hmm. And so I'll share my screen here. So we created a product called Seller Software. And is that coming up okay?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay, so this is Seller Software. This is basically just a place where we've aggregated several hundred hours worth of research, and we've gone out and curated a list of all of the different software where people can find it. So we're looking for, we got ratings and screenshots and all sorts of information that we've curated to try to help you figure out what you should be going in. So we've got a bunch of different categories and whatnot. Well, when we very first decided to do this, we were like, okay, well, all of this data, when we're researching it, it needs to be housed somewhere. And I was like, well, I think we should house it. At first, we actually were putting it into a Google spreadsheet. And I was like, whoa, stop. Let's put this in Airtable, because we can actually take, images. We can take all that sort of data. And then I was like, what if we made it so that this was actually connected to a like extension on WordPress? Like, what if we made it so that this could all be housed in the background, and if there was a new category added, it would automatically add it here? And what if we made it so that this was like totally dynamic? And so what we like you click on this, and inventory management actually goes and looks stuff up in Airtable.
Right.
and like, here's my list, and I go to my section here, and this, all of this data, what if we housed all of this data inside Airtable? And my partners were like, that sounds interesting. So that's what we did. This is our seller software Airtable, and every single one of these items that's in here is all put into the different pieces. So I have a link to the site, and you'll notice that it's a formula. So inside my formula here, it literally just says pull in the category for the breadcrumb and the slug.
Nice.
And I actually define the slug and the category and all of that information right here in this Airtable. So it gives me the ability to put all of this data into a linkable field and give everything that I need to, so that we're looking at what we need. So this whole website, the tail end of it, is 100% run on Airtable. And we even made it so that you could search for something specific. This is all connected to Airtable as well.
Very cool.
So basically we made a plugin for WordPress that allows you, and it's not totally public right now. Like, if somebody wanted to reach out to us and say, hey, like, could we use that? We were just building it for our own use. We're happy to look at further opportunities. We are a tech incubator, right? But yeah, this is when they ask, like, what's something crazy that you've done, that allows you to, really take some new pieces of what's there and see what's there. And this is one of the crazy things we've done.
I love it. Yeah, I think the real sort of benefit to using Airtable as a, content management system for websites would be, it's just Airtable's so fun to use, right? It's easy to put data into it, as opposed to like the typical back end of a WordPress website, which I always tend to get a little frustrated with.
Well,
it's a little clunky.
The cool part about this is so if you've ever heard of Elegant Themes, so Elegant Themes and Divi is the name of the theme. This is actually a Divi themed full-blown WordPress website. So this front page, I wanted the flexibility that WordPress can give, so that you're able to like mesh with your content. And let's say that you wanted an about us page, and you wanted to look at some of that. I wanted that flexibility to make really amazing looking landing pages. And so, like, if you look over here at my categories page, let's go over here, we'll look at inventory management again. I wanted to be able to make a buying guide down here at the bottom that was very easy to look at, but I needed this middle section to be, totally capable of being, rated, and we move around, and we get all of that other information so that we could put out the data that was there. And so we married the two together and gave ourselves the ability to have WordPress, which is easy to build really nice landing pages and give the user control. And we needed an easy way to manage a directory, which is what our Airtable does in the background. Very
cool. So what is the sort of process for your team as you find new apps? Do people is it, anyone can submit something to Airtable, or what's kind of your process for actually managing that content day to day?
So the funny part about it is I'm a little bit crazy when it comes to some of this stuff. We actually use, I have this little plugin right here. And with this plugin, I can actually create, and this specific login doesn't have it right here handy, but I can make it so that I can hit send right here, and it will take the URL of any website that I'm on and push it right into the Airtable using Zapier. Nice. So like, I can add a new website to this in seconds, and it's totally dynamic. It'll add it over here. Now, obviously, there's some, that would just create a blank page because there's none of the, content being curated and some of those other things. And so there's some other pieces and processes that we have in place to kind of help us make this more real. And so if you're coming to the Seller Software website after this podcast and you're like, wait a minute, this doesn't look completely finished. That's because it's actually still in process as far as some of the data. The plugin is totally functional. So, you can see, all of this is in here and we've got a lot of this data. If you were to go compare all of the ratings, you'll notice that all the ratings are 3. And that's because we're still in the process of finishing our ratings process to connect those dots. So this is still a website that's a work in progress. And if you notice a website that we're missing, we'd love to hear about it. And we're currently going through and categorizing and using Airtable. And the nice part is I don't have to do any website development to finish out this website. It's all Airtable, categorization work at this point.
Very nice. Yeah, it's great to just be able to, instead of having to compile every single piece of data before you push it, now you guys can just kind of separate it out and do it at your leisure, and then still provide some interesting, and valuable content in the meantime.
Yep. Absolutely.
So, do you guys have plans to eventually kind of make this plugin public, or what are,
Absolutely.
Cool.
I would be so at this point, it's one of those you kind of have to focus on, where the cash is, so to speak. We haven't had anybody beg for something like this. I was just looking on Product Hunt the other day, and I saw somebody who's built a Sheets to website plugin. Like literally, like all it is it takes a Google spreadsheet and turns it into a website. And I was like, I probably need to get on Product Hunt or AppSumo or one of these other ones and launch that thing, because we've already got it built. It's working, it's functioning. We would just need to push it out there. So it is on the docket. It's just one of those things that, you got to get there.
Right. There's only so many hours in the day. Well, once you get it up and running, let us know and we'll add it to our BuiltOnAir products list.
Nice.
Which I guess is sort of really the equivalent. What we're trying to do here is kind of like what you're doing with, the Amazon stuff. It's like, you're like, I know there are things out there like to supplement this, other app or service, but it's so hard to find all of them in one place.
Well, let me know. That sounds like a directory of products. If it's built on WordPress and you needed something, I don't know, to hook it up to Airtable, like I know a guy that built something that would make it so that list of products might work.
I wonder who that could be.
Just saying.
Very cool. Well, I love how you're, it seems like you really have this kind of great synergy where, you're always kind of, researching and developing and exploring, right? And, you have all of these kind of personal projects that in turn translate to, additional services for your clients and stuff.
Absolutely. Yep.
Very cool. So tell our listeners where they can find you if they want to learn more about your WordPress plugin in development or check out your services.
Yeah, absolutely. So roundsphere.com is the name of our tech incubator. You can always check that out. That's obviously maybe a little hard to spell, but it is literally like round like a sphere. Everybody's always like, isn't that kind of obvious? We're like, okay, yeah, we know it's obvious. DataAutomation.com is the name of the systems integration company, and you can reach us at either place. My email personally, you're welcome to email me personally, Will at DataAutomation with 2 A's, DataAutomation.com. And if you're interested in hey, I'd like to beta that, shoot me an email. I'd love to talk to more people who are interested in connecting it. It's totally built and functional. It's just, you kind of have to focus on where people are interested. So if people from this podcast wanted this to become a thing, I'd entertain anyone who wanted to talk to me about it.
Right on. Well, BuiltOnAir listeners, if you are using WordPress and Airtable and want to connect the two, reach out to Will and he'll show you how to do it.
I will.
Very, very cool. Thank you so much, Will. I really appreciate you taking the time to chat with us. And we'll be keeping tabs on your WordPress plugin and everything else you have in the works.
Cool. Looking forward to it.